I was 2 months pregnant when the person I trusted most sent me to the hospital, causing me to lose my baby and nearly destroying my uterus. And the culprit stood by my hospital bed, telling me to be reasonable and just say it was an accident. Later, I found out this wasn't a mistake, it was a scheme my husband had been planning for 5 years. He had me drink health tonics laced with contraceptives every day, personally delivered abortion pills, and intended to make me infertile forever, all while making me seem crazy so he could get rid of me. When they thought I had resigned myself and was ready to sign away everything, I went to a banquet with thousands watching live, armed with recordings, prescriptions, and 5 years of evidence. I exposed their masks in front of everyone, dragging their murderous plan, marital lies, and greed into the light of law and public scrutiny. My name is Emily Lynn. I'm 30, married for 5 years, and only found out I was pregnant 2 months ago. Yesterday afternoon, Lily came to my house. She's my husband Jason's secretary and also a junior from my college. Emily, look what I brought you. Lily smiled, her eyes crinkling as she pulled a thermos out of a beautifully wrapped bag. I got this from the most famous herbalist. The doctor said it's especially effective in the first trimester. When she opened the lid, a strong herbal scent wafted out. Thanks, Lily. I took the cup, feeling a warmth in my chest. Since I got pregnant, Jason always claimed he was busy. Lily was the one who came to see me often. The medicine was bitter, so bitter I couldn't help but frown. But I drank it, sip by sip, for the baby. Good girl. Lily wiped the corner of my mouth with a tissue, her touch gentle, like a sister. Less than 10 minutes after finishing the medicine, my stomach suddenly ached violently. I can't even describe the pain. It felt like someone had reached inside me and was tearing at my organs. I curled up on the couch, sweat soaking my clothes instantly. Emily? What's wrong? Lily's voice sounded distant, almost unreal. I looked down to see a shocking red stain spreading across the cream-colored couch cushion. Blood. So much blood. Lily, call an ambulance, I barely managed to say before everything went black. In a haze, I heard the siren, felt hands lifting me onto a stretcher. I forced my eyes open a sliver and saw Jason rushing in, Lily throwing herself into his arms, crying. Jason, I didn't mean it. I just wanted to help. I know. Jason patted her back. Did the doctor give you the wrong medicine? It's not your fault. Before the ambulance doors closed, I heard Jason whisper, "Don't worry, I'll handle this." When I woke, I was in a hospital bed, and 4 in my hand. Jason sat by my side, signing a document. Seeing me awake, he put down the pen and held my hand. Emily, you're awake. His voice was soft, but his eyes seemed distant. Don't worry, everything's been taken care of. What about the baby? I croaked. Jason was silent for a few seconds. We didn't make it. Tears flooded my eyes. It's the driver's fault. Jason handed me the document. Lily told him to get the medicine, but he grabbed the wrong one, a digestive medicine meant for someone else. I've already fired him. Fire the driver? My baby was gone, and all he did was fire the driver? And Lily? I asked. She feels terrible. She cried all night. Jason sighed. I comforted her. She was just passing messages, she didn't know anything. At that moment, the doctor came in. Mrs. Lynn, you're awake? The doctor flipped through the chart, speaking sternly. The medicine you took contained high doses of mifepristone and misoprostol, a standard medical abortion formula. The dosage was excessive, causing an incomplete miscarriage. We had to perform a dilation and curettage. I shivered. Dilation and curettage? Yes. The doctor glanced at Jason, then at me. Also, the damage to your uterus is severe. Part of the basal layer of the endometrium has been destroyed. Let's just say, the chances of conceiving naturally in the future are probably less than 5%. Less than 5%. The rest of my life, I would almost certainly never have another child. After the doctor left, Jason kept holding my hand. Emily, the company is negotiating a crucial project. We can't have negative news. Let's just tell everyone you slipped, okay? I looked him in the eyes. My baby was killed. And you want me to lie? Not killed, an accident. Jason emphasized. The driver took the wrong medicine. That's all. Lily meant well but made a mistake. Don't blame her anymore. I couldn't help but laugh bitterly. My baby was gone. My uterus destroyed. The murderer protected, and I was asked to forgive. Jason, I said slowly, that was our baby. We're young. We can have another one. He patted my hand dismissively. For now, focus on recovering. Don't overthink it. Then his phone rang. He glanced at it. I have to deal with something at the office. I'll come back tonight. And he left. I lay alone in the hospital bed, staring at the ceiling. The AC hummed faintly. In the hall, I could hear other babies crying. My baby, just a couple of hours ago, had turned into a pool of blood, gone forever. And the person who killed him didn't even have to say sorry. On the third day, Lily came. She brought a large bouquet of lilies, her eyes red and swollen, looking more like a victim than I felt. Emily, her voice was choked with tears. I didn't know. I just wanted to help you. Jason immediately stood, instinctively putting himself in front of Lily like a wall. Lily has apologized. He said to me, don't be too upset. You can have another baby. Another baby? I stared at him. The doctor said it will be very difficult for me to get pregnant again. Didn't you hear that? Modern medicine is advanced. There's always a way. Jason waved impatiently. What good is talking about it now? Lily peeked from behind him, tearful. Yes, Emily, you have to stay strong. You can have another baby. Your health is the most important. She placed the flowers on the bedside table. The strong lily scent made me suddenly nauseous. Take the flowers away, I said. They make me sick. Lily froze, tears falling harder. Emily, Jason snapped sharply. Lily came to see you. What's with your attitude? What attitude should I have? I sat up, my voice trembling. Smile and thank her? Thank her for bringing the medicine that killed my baby? I told you it was an accident. Jason's voice echoed across the room. The driver grabbed the wrong medicine. Lily was just passing it along. How long are you going to make a scene? A nurse pushed the door open. Family, please lower your voices. The patient needs rest. Jason took a deep breath and lowered his voice. Emily, you know how critical the company is right now. If news got out that Mrs. Carter was drugged and miscarried, can you imagine the stock impact? Everyone would be affected. He held my hand, his tone softening. Be good. For me. For this family, let's say it was an accident. Once this blows over, I'll take you to the best hospitals abroad. We'll get you healthy, and you'll still have a chance at a baby. I looked at his hands. Hands I once loved for being warm and strong now felt cold. You go ahead, I said to Lily. Lily glanced at Jason. He nodded, and she left, taking hesitant, tearful steps toward the door. Once the door closed, it was just the two of us. Jason, I asked quietly, what if it had been Lily drinking that medicine? Would you handle it the same way? He froze. What if she took that medicine, lost her baby, her uterus destroyed? Would you just fire the driver and tell her to forgive the person who gave it? Jason's face changed. That's different. Different how? Lily, he trailed off, unable to continue. Suddenly, I understood. It wasn't that he couldn't say it, it was that he wouldn't. He couldn't admit Lily mattered more to him than me. Couldn't admit this was planned from the start. Couldn't admit my baby was never meant to exist. Get some rest, Jason said, turning toward the door. I'll have the housekeeper bring your dinner tonight. Jason, I called after him. He looked back. We've been married 5 years. I said, 5 years. And this is all I deserve? He was silent for a long moment before finally saying, Emily, you need to be reasonable. The door closed. Reasonable. How familiar that word sounded. The first year of our marriage, he said me quitting my job to stay home was being reasonable. The second year, I wanted to work, and he said, be reasonable, I can support you. The third year, when my parents got sick, he said, be reasonable, don't think about your family so much. The fourth year, I wanted a child, and he said, be reasonable, now's not the time. I had always been reasonable. The cost of being reasonable? Losing my job, losing myself, and now losing the right to be a mother. I threw the lilies on the nightstand into the trash. The flowers weren't at fault, the person sending them was. But some people can't even pretend to be innocent. On the day I was discharged, the doctor gave me a follow-up prescription. Come back in a month to check hormone levels. The doctor said, Your previous tests show that your FSH and progesterone levels were abnormal, possibly due to long-term endocrine imbalance. I took the report. I've been taking hormone-regulating medicine for 5 years. What kind of medicine? Herbal supplements from a practitioner my husband found, supposedly to prepare my body for pregnancy. I said, 1 packet every day for 5 years. The doctor's expression changed. Herbal treatments aren't usually taken that long. And, does it list the ingredients? I shook my head. Every packet was a brown powder Jason brought home, in unmarked bags. Next time, bring some with you for testing, the doctor said. Some of these so-called supplements can be complicated. Back home, Jason wasn't there. The empty 3,000 square foot apartment, once my dream home, now felt cold. I went to the study and opened the bottom drawer. Jason had always forbidden me from touching it, saying it was company confidential. But today I wanted to see. Inside were no documents, only a small medicine box. Neatly stacked inside were over 100 packets of brown powder, the exact same ones I'd taken for 5 years. There was also a handwritten note in Jason's handwriting, 1 packet daily. No interruptions. Main ingredients, long-acting contraceptive plus hormone suppressants. Notes, continue for at least 5 years to ensure complete infertility. My hands shook so badly I could barely hold the paper. Long-acting contraceptive. Hormone suppressants. Complete infertility. 5 years. Every single day. Jason personally mixed the powder in warm water and gently said, "Emily, for our future, drink this." I had been such a fool, smiling while drinking it, thinking he was caring. Suddenly, the study door opened. Jason stood in the doorway, seeing the note in my hand. His face went pale. "Let me explain." He rushed forward to grab it. I stepped back, holding the note up. "Explain what?" "How you tricked me into taking contraceptives for 5 years. How you plan to make it impossible for me to ever have a child. It's not what you think." Jason's voice trembled. "Those medicines, they were for your PCOS. The doctor prescribed them." "Which doctor?" I stared at him. "Give me the name. I'll call now." He had no answer. "Jason," I said, slowly, word by word, "my baby wasn't a miscarriage. You planned to kill it, didn't you?" "You're insane," he shouted. "I'm devastated the baby's gone too. But look at yourself. Paranoid. Crazy." "I am crazy." I laughed, tears streaming down. "Crazy enough to trust you for 5 years. Crazy enough to think you loved me. Crazy enough to drink the medicine that killed my baby." He grabbed my shoulders. "Emily, calm down. Let go of me." I shoved him back hard, and he stumbled. At that moment, the doorbell rang. Through the security camera, I saw Lily standing outside, holding a fruit basket. Jason straightened his suit and took a deep breath. "Remember, tell everyone it was a fall. For the company. For this family." He opened the door. Lily immediately came forward. "Jason, Emily's home?" I came to see her. Seeing my red, swollen eyes, she feigned surprise. "Emily, why are you crying again? Look forward, not back." Jason instinctively put his arm around her shoulder and whispered, "She's still emotional. Don't take it personally." The gesture was so natural, it looked like he had done it 1,000 times. Suddenly, a flood of details came back to me. Lily was always at our place. She had the most missed calls on Jason's phone. She called him Jason, not Mr. Carter. She could walk into his office without an appointment. I had always believed they were just boss and subordinate, college alumni. Nothing more. God, I was stupid. "Jason." I looked at the two of them. "What exactly is your relationship with Lily?" Lily's face stiffened. She instinctively shrank behind Jason. Jason frowned. "You're overthinking again. Lily is my secretary, and she's your friend. She still comes to see you at a time like this. You should be grateful." "Grateful?" I laughed out loud. "Grateful she sent me to the hospital? Grateful she made me lose my child? Or grateful that for the past 5 years, she's been sleeping in my husband's bed?" "Emily." Jason completely lost his temper. "If you keep spouting nonsense, don't blame me." "Don't blame you for what?" I cut him off. "For killing me the way you killed my baby?" Lily suddenly burst into tears. "Emily, how can you say something like that?" "I was just worried about you." "Worried enough to bring me abortion pills?" I stared straight at her. "Worried enough to sleep with my husband?" "I didn't." Lily cried harder, clutching Jason's arm. Jason, look at her, she's lost her mind. Jason shoved me aside and shielded Lily as he dragged her toward the door. Calm down. We're leaving. The door slammed shut. I leaned against the wall and slowly slid down to the floor. 5 years of marriage. 5 years of lies. 5 years of pills. My uterus. My child. My life. All destroyed. And yet, strangely, I didn't cry anymore. The tears were gone. All that remained was an icy, numbing calm. 1 week later, late at night, I received a text from an unknown number, Blue Note Bar. Private room 308, 9 p.m. Come see your husband's true face. If you don't come, you'll regret it for the rest of your life. I stared at my phone for 10 minutes. Then I put on black clothes, a cap, a mask, and went out. Blue Note Bar wasn't far from our place. It was one of Jason's regular spots. I had never come before. He used to say, "Good women don't go to bars." The door to room 308 was slightly ajar. Familiar laughter drifted out. I found a corner seat with my back to the door and listened. She's been quiet these past couple of days, Jason said. Guess she's accepted it. Lily giggled. I told you she's stupid. 5 years and she never suspected a thing. Even if she did, it wouldn't matter. Jason replied. I bought the drugs myself, hired the driver myself, wiped all the records clean. She could call the police, there's nothing they'd find. My fists clenched, nails digging into my palms. But you were pretty bold that day, Jason said, mildly reproachful. Handing her abortion pills directly, what if she'd called the police right then? I couldn't help it, Lily said coquettishly. Seeing her rub her belly all happy made me sick. Besides, didn't you always say if she couldn't get pregnant, she'd just be a decoration, easy to control? Jason laughed. True, but we almost overdid it this time. Don't be so impulsive next time. Got it? Lily paused, then asked softly. So, when do we have our baby? What's the rush? Jason said calmly. Once she signs the property waiver, we'll let her die naturally. Then you get pregnant. Step into her place, it'll all be perfectly logical. How long will that take? 3 months at most. The lawyer's already drafting the paperwork. We'll say she's mentally unstable, unfit to manage assets. Once she signs, Jason's voice turned cold. Accidents can happen anytime. I sucked in a sharp breath. They didn't just want my womb. They didn't just want my money. They wanted my life. Oh, right, Lily added casually. She never noticed the contraceptives from those 5 years. Did she? How could she? Jason scoffed. Powdered form, mixed into vitamins. With her brain. She only ever thought I was being thoughtful. You're ruthless. Lily laughed. I like that. If I'm not ruthless to her, how could I be gentle with you? Jason's voice turned intimate. Come here, let me see how much you missed me. The sounds of rustling clothes and kissing followed. I took out my phone, turned on the recorder, and placed it behind a flower pot near the door. Then I turned and walked out of the bar. It had started to rain. I didn't open an umbrella. I walked home slowly, rain mixing with tears, but I felt nothing. It was like something had completely died. My love for Jason, my faith in marriage, my dreams of the future, all dead. And maybe that was a good thing. Once something dies, it can't hurt you anymore. Back home, I took a hot shower, then sat down in front of my computer and opened a folder I hadn't touched in years. Inside were scanned copies of my law license, my law school diploma, and the certificate for best rookie lawyer from my internship. After we got married, Jason had said, "Don't work so hard. I'll take care of you." And I believed him. I quit my job, burned my law books, and devoted myself to being Mrs. Carter. So stupid. But waking up now wasn't too late. Early the next morning, I dialed a number I hadn't called in 5 years. Hello, Senior Chen? This is Emily. There was a 3-second pause, then an explosion of surprise. Emily? Is that really you? Where have you been these 5 years? We all thought you'd gone abroad. I got married, I said, and now I need your help. Tell me. I want a divorce, but not just a divorce. I took a deep breath. I want to sue Jason Carter for intentional injury, deprivation of reproductive rights, and premeditated fraud. Another long silence. Jason Carter? Michael Chen finally said. From the Carter Group? Yes. My husband. What evidence do you have? I have recordings, a handwritten list of drug ingredients in his own writing, and 5 years of medication records. I said, I'll need more, his abortion drug supply chain, testimony from the driver, and proof of his illicit relationship with Lily. This will be a very hard case. Michael said honestly. Jason has money and power, and so much time has passed, that's why I came to you. I said quietly, Senior Chin. Back in law school, you said the law is the weapon of the weak. Right now, I'm the weak one. He sighed. Time and place. Let's meet and talk. We met at a secluded cafe. 5 years had passed. Michael Chin was now a well-known divorce attorney, impeccably dressed in a tailored suit. But the way he looked at me was the same as before. Still the senior who genuinely cared about his junior. You've lost a lot of weight, he said. I laid all the evidence out on the table, the recorder, the powder samples, the handwritten ingredient list, the hospital diagnosis. After listening to the recording, Michael's face darkened. Animals. I want him to pay, I said. Not just divorce and asset division. I want him in prison. Intentional injury causing severe harm carries a sentence of 3 to 10 years, Michael said, carefully reviewing the diagnosis. Permanent uterine damage qualifies as severe injury. Add long-term drugging and deprivation of reproductive rights, that's an aggravating circumstance. If the evidence holds, sentencing won't be light. But the hardest part is proof, he continued, tapping the table. He bought the drugs, but how do we prove he knowingly made you take them? He'll blame a doctor. Lily, even you, the driver. I said, the one he fired. He's the breakthrough. Can we find him? We try. 3 days later, Michael brought news. We found the driver. Jason paid him $500,000 to keep quiet and leave the city. But his wife has cancer, the money's gone. He's desperate. Bring him to me. The driver, Mr. Lou, was a middle-aged man with a hunched back. The moment he saw me, he dropped to his knees. Mrs. Carter, I'm sorry. I really didn't know what that medicine was. Who told you to pick it up? I asked Miss Lily, but she said it was Mr. Carter's order. The prescription came from him. Jason personally gave you the prescription? No, it was faxed from his office. With his signature. Mr. Lou shakily pulled out a crumpled sheet of paper. I copied it, just in case. I took the paper. Jason's flamboyant signature was unmistakable. Above it, a line read, fill this prescription exactly. Must be delivered to my wife today. Below were herbal ingredients, and at the very bottom, in tiny handwriting, mifepristone 200 milligrams, misoprostol 600 mg. Did he promise you anything besides the money? Michael asked. He said, once things blew over, I could come back as fleet manager. Mr. Lou sobbed. But my wife got sick. The money wasn't enough. Mr. Carter won't answer my calls anymore. Miss Lily blocked me. I looked at Michael. He nodded. This is decisive evidence. After the driver left, I began organizing our assets. In 5 years of marriage, Jason's company valuation had increased tenfold, but most assets were under his name. The joint marital account held less than 1% of his total wealth. He's transferring assets, Michael said after reviewing the records. Large sums moved offshore in the last 3 months. Some transferred directly to Lily. Can we freeze them? We can apply for asset preservation, but it takes time and strong justification. Michael frowned. He hasn't formally filed for divorce yet. If we move too fast, we alert him. That was when Lily called. Emily, how have you been? We haven't seen each other in ages. How about dinner? Her voice was sickeningly sweet. I knew she was probing. Sure, I smiled. I was hoping to see you too. Lunch tomorrow? Just us girls. Heart to heart. Okay. After hanging up, Michael looked worried. You're really going? Of course. I practiced smiling in the mirror. Not only will I go, I'll make her believe I've completely forgiven her. The woman in the mirror had something in her eyes I'd never seen before. Cold, but sharp. Like a blade tempered by fire. Lily chose an upscale restaurant, $3,000 per person at least. She wore the latest Chanel suit, carried a Hermes bag. Everything on her cost what an average family earned in a year. Emily, she hugged me enthusiastically. You look so much better. Do I? I smiled and sat down. Maybe I've made peace with it. Losing the baby was fate, blaming anyone won't help. Lily visibly relaxed. I'm so glad you think that way. Jason's been feeling guilty too, he keeps telling me how sorry he is. Between husband and wife, there's no need for apologies, I said calmly, cutting my steak. As for you, Lily, don't blame yourself anymore. I know you meant well. Her eyes immediately reddened. Emily, you're too kind. I thought you'd hate me forever, how could I? I patted her hand. We're still friends, right? Of course. She squeezed my hand. I'll come see you often, take you out, help you relax. For 2 hours, we played the role of devoted sisters. I learned several crucial things. Jason was planning a lavish wedding anniversary banquet to rebuild the image of a loving couple and stabilize stock prices. Lily was deeply involved as secretary and close friend. Media outlets and major partners would be invited. Jason says it's the most important PR event of the year, Lily said smugly. Everything has to be perfect. Emily, you'll need to cooperate, dress nicely. I will, I smiled. That night, I told Jason. Lily asked me to dinner. He was reading documents, barely looking up. We've made up, I said. I've thought it through. The baby was an accident, no one should be blamed. We should move forward. Jason finally looked up. Surprise and suspicion flashed through his eyes. You really mean that? Yes. I stood behind him and gently massaged his shoulders. 5 years of marriage. If I don't trust you, who do I trust? He relaxed, patting my hand. That's more like it. Get ready for the anniversary banquet next month. I want everyone to see that Jason Carter's wife is the most reasonable woman alive. Okay. He would never know how much the hand on his shoulder wanted to strangle him. The banquet preparations moved quickly. I volunteered to contact media, finalize the program, even personally selected our loving couple photos for the backdrop. Lily grew increasingly arrogant. She began acting like the lady of the house, giving orders, correcting staff, even adjusting Jason's tie in front of me. Everyone looked at me with pity, but I just smiled, like the perfect, magnanimous wife who remained strong even after losing her child. Behind the scenes, Michael Chen and his team were working like maniacs. We collected every piece of evidence, 5 years of drug test reports, the driver's testimony, the photocopy of Jason's signed prescription, records of asset transfers, and the transcript from the bar recording. We contacted doctors willing to testify. We applied for asset preservation, freezing most of Jason's transferable assets. We secretly signed a live streaming agreement. On the day of the banquet, 3 media outlets would broadcast the entire event, but I controlled the stream. Are you sure about this? Michael asked one last time the night before the banquet. Once the live stream starts, there's no turning back. You'll be under the spotlight for everyone to see, every scar, every betrayal. I stood by the window, staring at the city lights. Michael, do you know what I've been through this past month? I whispered. Every night, I dream of that child. Sometimes a boy, sometimes a girl, always crying, asking me, Mom, why didn't you want me? You didn't not want him, he said softly. But I drank that medicine. I turned to face him. I killed him with my own hands because I trusted Jason. Because I trusted Lily. Because I believed every word they said. It's for your own good. That's not your fault, so I'll make everyone know. I interrupted. I'll show everyone how trust can be weaponized. How marriage can be turned into a tool for murder. How a woman's womb can be methodically destroyed by her husband. Not just for myself, I continued, but for every girl who might be going through the same thing. I want them to know, you can resist. You can scream. You can drag the perpetrator into the sunlight and leave them nowhere to hide. Michael stared at me for a long time, then nodded. All right, tomorrow, I'm with you, at 6 a.m. On the day of the banquet. The doorbell rang. I opened it to 2 court officers. Ms. Emily Carter? Here is a summons. Mr. Jason Carter is suing you for defamation, demanding you immediately stop spreading false statements and pay $5 million in damages. I took the summons, hands steady. Anything else? Yes. Here's an asset freeze order. Due to the large-scale lawsuit, the court temporarily freezes all assets under your name, including your share of the joint account. As expected, Jason couldn't wait. He wanted total control before the banquet. Freeze my assets so I couldn't hire lawyers. Sue me for defamation to label me crazy. no matter what I said tonight. He wanted it dismissed as the ramblings of an unstable woman. I understand, I said. No sooner had the court officers left than Jason called. You received the summons? His voice was cold. Emily, I gave you a chance. Stay obedient as Mrs. Carter, and I'll take care of you for the rest of your life. But if you insist on making a scene, don't blame me for being ruthless. What scene? I asked. You hired lawyers, checked the accounts, contacted the driver. You really think I wouldn't notice? He sneered. Old Lou already changed his story, saying the prescription was forged by you. I've taken care of the doctors. They'll testify that you suffer from delusions. As for that recording, he paused. The bar owner is my friend. The surveillance footage from that night accidentally got damaged. You only have a copy on your phone. Court won't accept it. I tightened my grip on the phone. You thought of everything. So tonight, you'd better behave as a decorative vase, Jason said, or I'll petition the court to commit you to a psychiatric hospital. You know I have that power. He hung up. I sat on the sofa and suddenly laughed, louder and louder. Tears streamed down my face as I laughed. Jason, my dear husband, had calculated every single step. Too bad he missed one thing. I am never a lamb to be slaughtered. I am Emily Carter, once the top of my law class, now a force of vengeance. I dialed Michaelchin. Adjust the plan, add the summons, the asset freeze order, and Jason threatening to commit me to a psychiatric hospital to today's materials. What are you going to do? He asked. I'm going to show everyone, I said, enunciating each word, how a woman labeled mentally unstable can, in full view of the world, tear apart every mask the perpetrator wears. At 7 p.m., the banquet hall glittered with lights. I wore the gown Jason had chosen. Flawless makeup, arm looped through his. I smiled at the guests. Lily wore a backless red gown, weaving through the crowd, fully asserting herself as co-hostess. The MC enthusiastically narrated the perfect couple's love story. The giant screen played a meticulously edited video, every staged photo of me and Jason looking happy together. I knew those smiles were all fake. It didn't matter. Soon, everyone would know the truth. It was our turn to speak. Jason went first. Exuding affection, Emily and I have been married 5 years and experienced a lot. We recently lost a child, which has made us cherish each other even more. Applause erupted. I took the microphone, palms sweaty, but voice steady. Thank you all for attending our anniversary banquet. Jason is right, we have indeed experienced a lot these 5 years. I looked at Jason. He smiled, the look in his eyes saying, good girl. So tonight, I have a special gift for my husband. I nodded backstage. The giant screen went black, then came back to life. The first image, Jason's signed prescription. The tiny line at the bottom was enlarged for all to see. Mifepristone 200 milligrams. Misoprostol 600 mg. The room erupted. Jason's face went pale. What is this? Turn it off. Now. But the control console didn't move. Those were my people. Next, the lab reports of the nutritional supplements I'd taken daily for 5 years. Long-acting contraceptive ingredients highlighted in red. Third, photos of driver Mr. Lou's testimony and video of him holding the prescription copy. Fourth, Jason's overseas asset transfer bank statements. Fifth, the bar recording began to play. Jason's voice exploded through the speakers. If she can't get pregnant, she'll always be useless once she signs the papers. Accidents can happen anytime, Lily screamed. Emily, you're insane. None of this is real. Jason lunged toward the control console but was stopped by security. He turned toward me, face contorted with rage. Emily Carter, you forged evidence. You're mentally unstable. At that moment, the giant screen switched to the 6th segment, close-ups of this morning's court summons, the asset freeze order, and the audio recording of Jason threatening to commit me to a psychiatric hospital. If anyone doubts the authenticity of this evidence, I said into the microphone, my voice broadcasting live to millions online, ask yourself, why would a wife, sued by her husband for mental instability and having her assets frozen, forge evidence to destroy her own marriage? Silence fell. Then the room erupted with shocked murmurs. Reporters shoved forward, cameras all aimed at Jason. The first to stand was Mr. Wang, the largest business partner of the Carter Group. Jason Carter. Mr. Wang's face was thunderous. You told me your wife miscarried by accident. Jason stammered. She really did. Then what are these drugs? Mr. Wang smashed his wine glass on the floor. My daughter's wedding is next month. I entrusted your company to plan it. And you're a monster who kills your own child. He tore up the contract in front of everyone. Termination of cooperation. Effective immediately. The second. Third, board members exchanged stunned looks. Some walked out entirely. The stock price began to plummet within minutes. Jason, seeing the chaos, went berserk and lunged at Lily, grabbing her hair. This is all your fault. You seduced me. You bought the drugs. You killed the child. Lily screamed, struggling. Jason, you bastard. You told me to deliver the medicine. You promised we'd be together if it worked. Dog bites dog. I stood on the stage, watching everything. No satisfaction. Only icy calm. When security separated Jason and Lily, both looked disheveled. Jason's suit was torn. Lily's hair was a mess. Makeup smeared. The room fell silent. All eyes on me. I picked up the microphone again. I did this today. Not for revenge. My voice soft but carried far. For 3 reasons. First, I want the truth. My child did not die by accident. It was deliberately killed by his biological father. I took contraceptives for 5 years. Not for health, but to be deprived of my reproductive rights. This truth must be acknowledged. Jason yelled from below, Emily, I'll sue you for defamation. I'll put you in jail. I ignored him. Second, I want a divorce. But not just a divorce. I want to hold Jason criminally responsible for intentionally causing grievous bodily harm, civilly liable for fraud and transferring marital assets, and accountable for long-term psychological abuse and manipulation. Lawyers in the audience nodded. Third, I looked into the cameras. To all women going through similar situations, your womb belongs to you. It is not someone else's property. Your life belongs to you. It is not disposable at anyone's whim. If someone harms you, collect evidence. Seek help. Stand up. The law protects you. But first, you must protect yourself. I set down the microphone. Applause began in a corner, spreading throughout the hall. Many female guests wiped their tears. Jason collapsed into a chair, like a puddle of mud. Lily was surrounded, questioned, crying so hard her makeup ran. I descended the stage. Michael Chin met me. The police are outside. After reviewing the evidence we submitted, they've decided to open a case. Good. Also, Michael whispered, the live stream has over 5 million concurrent viewers. Trending top 10. Public opinion overwhelmingly supports you. I nodded, walking toward the exit. Jason suddenly rushed over, grabbing my wrist. Emily. I was wrong. I really was. Can we start over? I can give you the company. We can adopt a child. I yanked my hand free. Jason. I looked him in the eyes. Do you know? Every night this past month, I dreamed of that child. He never spoke, only looked at me. Eyes just like yours. Tears ran down Jason's face. But last night, I dreamed he spoke. He said, Mom, I don't blame you. You have to live well. I turned and walked away. Emily, Jason shouted behind me. Are you really this heartless? 5 years of marriage, just throw it away? I stopped, but didn't turn around. From the moment you planned to kill my child, there was no love left between us. I walked out of the banquet hall. Outside, rain fell, but this time, I didn't get wet. Michael opened an umbrella over me. Where to? He asked. Home. I said. Not Jason's house. My own home. Over the following month, many things happened. The police opened an investigation. Jason was subjected to legal restrictions. Though his influence and wealth temporarily prevented detention, his movements were strictly controlled. Carter Group's stock plummeted consecutively. The board held emergency meetings and removed Jason as CEO. His cousin was appointed new CEO and immediately severed ties with him. Lily was investigated for embezzlement and falsifying expense reports, fired, and faced prosecution. Most of her previously flaunted luxury items had been purchased with company funds. She sought help from Jason, only to be thrown out by his bodyguards. All your fault, Jason shouted at her in the rain. If you weren't greedy and hadn't delivered that medicine, none of this would have happened. Lily sat in the rain, crying. You told me to deliver it. You promised to marry me if it worked. Passers-by filmed the scene, uploading videos with captions like, "The mistress gets her comeuppance." Jason's life became unbearable. In addition to criminal charges, he faced multiple civil lawsuits, shareholders sued for damaging company interests, partners sued for fraud, and I filed divorce and damages claims. His assets were fully frozen. Mansions, cars, yachts, all sealed. He came to see me once, down at the apartment I'd just rented. Scruffy beard, sunken eyes, completely stripped of his former glory. "Emily," he croaked, "please, give me a chance. Let me make it up to you." I looked at him through the security door. "Make it up? How?" I can give you the rest of the assets. I can apologize publicly. I can do charity work." His words tumbled out, incoherent. "Just withdraw the lawsuits, and we can start over, Jason." I cut him off. "How much do you think my child's life is worth?" He froze. "How much do you think my reproductive rights, my destroyed womb, the 5 years of deception, are worth?" I didn't mean that. "Then what did you mean?" I stared at him. "Buying my forgiveness with money? Buying your freedom? Buying off the blood on your hands?" Jason dropped to his knees. "Emily, I beg you. I truly understand my mistake. Hurting you is the thing I regret most in my life. I'll do anything. Please don't ruin me." I looked at him kneeling there, and suddenly felt only pity. "Jason," I said softly, "you still don't understand. I'm not here to ruin you. You ruined yourself the moment you chose to harm me. So, what should I do?" He looked up, tear-streaked. "Tell me, what should I do?" "Face justice," I said. "Pay the price for what you've done." I closed the door. Outside, I could hear him crying quietly, but inside, I felt nothing. Some people don't even deserve an apology. 3 months later, the court delivered its judgment. Divorce granted, due to Jason's severe misconduct, intentional harm, fraud, malicious transfer of assets. The marital property was split 70/30 in my favor. I received 70%. Additionally, Jason was ordered to pay $5 million in emotional damages and cover all my attorney and litigation fees. Criminally, with conclusive evidence, Jason was sentenced to 8 years in prison. His lawyers appealed, but the appellate court upheld the original verdict. Civilly, beyond the divorce ruling, I also filed a lawsuit for violation of reproductive rights. The court upheld my claim, explicitly stating the defendant deliberately and systematically deprived the plaintiff of her reproductive rights, causing permanent physical harm. Such conduct constitutes a severe violation, breaching marital fidelity obligations and infringing upon fundamental female personal rights. This ruling has since been cited by legal scholars as a reference for similar cases. Jason was blacklisted in the industry. No company dared hire him. After repaying various debts, nearly all of his remaining assets were gone. Lily, convicted of embezzlement and perjury, received a 3-year sentence. In court, she cried, claiming to be a victim too, but no one sympathized. I regained my law license. On the day I received my new credentials, Michael Chin invited me to dinner. "What's next?" he asked. "I'm starting a legal aid foundation," I said, "to help women whose reproductive rights are violated or who suffer domestic abuse. I've already picked a name, Firefly." "Firefly? Even the faintest light can illuminate a bit of darkness," I said, looking out the window. "I want to show women that they're not alone." Michael was silent for a moment. "Emily, you've changed a lot." "Really?" "Stronger and gentler," he said. I smiled. "I used to think gentleness meant compliance, being reasonable, sacrificing yourself for others. Now I know, true gentleness is choosing to trust in goodness despite knowing the world's cruelty. It's protecting others even after suffering the deepest wounds. It's turning darkness into light for others." On the day Firefly officially launched, many people came: journalists, colleagues, people who had helped me, and countless women I'd never met. Some slipped me notes: "Thank you for giving me courage." I spoke from the stage, without notes. 1 year ago today, I lay in a hospital bed, believing I'd lost everything. I looked at the audience. My child, my womb, my marriage, hope for the future. I thought it was all gone. The room was silent. Now I stand here, with a new job, a new life, a new purpose. I want all women experiencing pain to know, losing a toxic relationship isn't an ending. It's a beginning. Being hurt is not your fault. And standing up is not shameful. Law may not be perfect, but it's our strongest tool. Society may have biases, but we can speak with facts. We may have been weak, but everyone has the potential to become strong. Finally, I paused. I no longer hate Jason. Not forgiveness, it's release. Hate is exhausting. I will devote my energy to something more important, helping women like me reclaim their lives. Thunderous applause. After the event, a reporter asked, Emily, do you still have expectations for love and marriage? I thought for a moment, I do. But I won't force it. If I meet the right person, I'll love boldly. If not, I'll live well on my own. And would you advise other women not to marry? Of course not. I smiled. Marriage itself isn't wrong. What's wrong is using it to harm others. My mission isn't to oppose marriage, it's to oppose harm, deceit, and treating women as property. The interview ended. I stepped out of the building. The sunset was perfect, painting the sky in warm orange hues. I walked past a flower shop and bought a small bouquet of sunflowers. Back home, I placed them in a vase on the windowsill. My phone buzzed. Michaelchan had sent a message. There's a complex new case tomorrow. Want to review it together? I replied, sure. Send me the files. Then I opened my laptop, brewed some tea, and got to work. Outside, the city lights twinkled, cars flowing endlessly. Countless stories were unfolding, some sad, some heartwarming, some concluding, some just beginning. And my story? A new chapter had begun. I was no longer Jason's wife, no longer anyone's possession. I was Emily Carter, a lawyer, a philanthropist, a woman who had learned to love herself again, and that was enough.